Welcome to Northwestern's Imagine You Storytime. Our storyteller today is Carly Mazer, who is a 2020 Northwestern graduate who majored in theater, musical theater, and psychology. She loves to be on stage, but she also loves reading, writing, and telling stories. Today she is going to share with you one of her all-time favorite stories. Let's go find Carly.
Hi everybody! I am so excited to be the guest on this week's Imagine You Storytime. My name is Carly. What's your name? So names are a really important part of who we are. Sometimes they are passed down from our families, sometimes you are named after someone or something really special, sometimes our parents just think it's cool, but sometimes it's a little hard to like your name if your name is a little bit unique and you want to be named something else or even be someone else. But as you grow up, you learn that your name, your unique name, is what makes you special and what makes you who you are. And that is what our main character learns in this week's book, Chrysanthemum by Kevin Henkes. So I'm going to read you this story. The day she was born was the happiest day in her parents' lives. "She's perfect," said her mother. "Absolutely," said her father. And she was. She was absolutely perfect. "Her name must be everything she is," said her mother. "Her name must be absolutely perfect," said her father. And it was. Chrysanthemum. Her parents named her Chrysanthemum. Chrysanthemum grew, and when she was old enough to appreciate it, Chrysanthemum loved her name. She loved the way it sounded when her mother woke her up. She loved the way it sounded when her father called her for dinner, and she loved the way it sounded when she whispered it to herself in the bathroom mirror. Chrysanthemum, chrysanthemum, chrysanthemum. Chrysanthemum loved the way her name looked when it was written in ink on an envelope. She loved the way it looked when it was written with icing on a birthday cake, and she loved the way it looked when she wrote it herself with her fat orange crayon. Chrysanthemum, chrysanthemum, chrysanthemum. Chrysanthemum thought her name was absolutely perfect. And then she started school. On her first day, Chrysanthemum wore her sunniest dress and her biggest smile. She ran all the way. But when Mrs. Chud took roll call, everyone giggled upon hearing Chrysanthemum's name. "It's so long," said Joe. "It scarcely fits on your name tag," said Rita, pointing. "I'm named after my grandmother," said Victoria. "You're named after a flower." Chrysanthemum wilted. She did not think her name was absolutely perfect. She thought it was absolutely dreadful. The rest of the day was not much better. During nap time, Victoria raised her hand and informed Mrs. Chud that Chrysanthemum's name was spelled with 13 letters. "That's exactly half as many letters as there are in the entire alphabet," said Victoria. "Thank you for sharing that with us, Victoria," said Mrs. Chud. "Now put your head down." "If I had a name like yours, I'd change it," Victoria said as the students lined up to go home. "I wish I could," thought Chrysanthemum miserably. "Welcome home," said her mother. "Welcome home," said her father. "School is no place for me," said Chrysanthemum. "My name is too long, it scarcely fits my name tag, and I'm named after a flower." "Oh, pish," said her mother. "Your name is beautiful, and precious, and priceless, and fascinating, and winsome," said her father. "It's everything you are," said her mother. "Absolutely perfect." Chrysanthemum felt much better after her favorite dinner, macaroni and cheese with ketchup, and an evening filled with hugs and kisses and parcheesi. That night, Chrysanthemum dreamed that her name was Jane. It was an extremely pleasant dream. The next morning, Chrysanthemum wore her most comfortable jumper. She walked to school as slowly as she could. She dragged her feet in the dirt. "Chrysanthemum, chrysanthemum, chrysanthemum," she wrote. "She even looks like a flower," said Victoria as Chrysanthemum entered the playground. "Let's pick her," said Rita, pointing. "Let's smell her," said Joe. Chrysanthemum wilted. She did not think her name was absolutely perfect. She thought it was absolutely dreadful. The rest of the day was not much better. During nap time, Victoria raised her hand and said, "A chrysanthemum is a flower. It lives in a garden with worms and other, dirty things." "Thank you for sharing that with us, Victoria," said Mrs. Chud. "Now put your head down." "I cannot believe your name," Victoria said as the students lined up to go home. "Neither can I," thought Chrysanthemum miserably. "Welcome home," said her mother. "Welcome home," said her father. "School is no place for me," said Chrysanthemum. "They said I even look like a flower. They pretended to pick me and to smell me." "Oh, pish," said her mother. "They are just jealous, and envious, and begrudging, and discontented, and jaundiced," said her father. "Who wouldn't be jealous of a name like yours?" said her mother. "After all, it's absolutely perfect." Chrysanthemum felt a trifle better after her favorite dessert, chocolate cake with buttercream frosting, and another evening filled with hugs and kisses and parcheesi. That night, Chrysanthemum dreamed that she really was a chrysanthemum. She sprouted leaves and petals. Victoria picked her and plucked the leaves and petals one by one until there was nothing left but a scrawny stem. It was the worst nightmare of Chrysanthemum's life. Chrysanthemum wore her outfit with 7 pockets the next morning. She loaded the pockets with her most prized possessions and her good luck charms. Chrysanthemum took the longest route possible to school and stopped and stared at each and every flower. "Chrysanthemum, chrysanthemum, chrysanthemum," the flowers seemed to say. That morning, the students were introduced to Mrs. Twinkle, the music teacher. Her voice was like something out of a dream. It was as was everything else about her. The students were speechless. They thought Mrs. Twinkle was an indescribable wonder. They went out of their way to make a nice impression. Mrs. Twinkle led the students in scales. Then she assigned roles for the class musical. Victoria was chosen as the dainty fairy queen. Rita was chosen as the spiffy butterfly princess. Jo was chosen as the all-important pixie messenger, and Chrysanthemum was chosen as a daisy. "Chrysanthemum's a daisy, chrysanthemum's a daisy," Jo, Rita, and Victoria chanted, thinking it was wildly funny. Chrysanthemum wilted. She did not think her name was absolutely perfect. She thought it was absolutely dreadful. "What's so humorous?" asked Mrs. Twinkle. "Chrysanthemum," was the answer. "Her name is so long," said Jo. "It scarcely fits on her name tag," said Rita, pointing. "I'm named after my grandmother," said Victoria. "She's named after a flower." "My name is long," said Mrs. Twinkle. "It is," said Jo. "My name would scarcely fit on a name tag," said Mrs. Twinkle. "It would," said Rita, pointing. "And I'm named after a flower too," said Mrs. Twinkle. "You are?" said Victoria. "Yes," said Mrs. Twinkle. "My name is Delphinium. Delphinium Twinkle. And if my baby is a girl, I'm considering Chrysanthemum as a name. I think it's absolutely perfect." Chrysanthemum could scarcely believe her ears. She blushed, she beamed, she bloomed. "Chrysanthemum, chrysanthemum, chrysanthemum." Jo, Rita, and Victoria looked at Chrysanthemum longingly. "Call me Marigold," said Jo. "I'm Carnation," said Rita, pointing. "My name is Lily of the Valley," said Victoria. Chrysanthemum did not think her name was absolutely perfect. She knew it. Overall, the class musical was a huge success. Chrysanthemum was absolutely perfect as a daisy. Victoria made the only mistake. She completely forgot her lines as the fairy queen. Chrysanthemum thought it was wildly funny. Eventually, Mrs. Twinkle gave birth to a healthy baby girl, and of course, she named her Chrysanthemum. So Chrysanthemum learned a valuable lesson about individuality through learning to love her name. But something else that makes us unique are our qualities, or some of the things we like to do, or maybe our families. There's a lot of things that make people stand out, and sometimes those things are a little scary, and sometimes we don't love to share with the world the things that make us unique. For example, I love to sing. That's something that makes me unique, but I used to be super shy when I was a little girl, and I would never, ever, ever sing in front of anybody. But as I grew up, I learned that you just have to be brave and be yourself and embrace who you are. And for me, that was someone who loved to sing. So there is a song in one of my favorite musicals called Dear Edwina that you guys might know. Edwina also has a pretty cool name. and it is called Sing Your Own Song, and it always reminds me that being yourself is the only way to be. So I'm going to share it with you guys. Those kids who try and knock you down, they're not what life's about. Just learn to sing your special song and drown them out. I won't pretend it doesn't hurt. Some things kids say can hurt a lot, but what hurts more is when they make you wanna be something you're not. You've got to sing your own song. Use your own voice. Your voice is not a thing to be afraid of. And when they hear it sing true, there's not a thing they can do to take away the music that you're made of. Those kids may say some nasty things, but what is really true is way deep down they wish that they could be like you. And so they travel in a group and they make sure you're set apart. And though at times it's hard remembering, you know deep in your heart you've got to sing your own song. Do your own thing. Your thing is not a thing to be denied you. And though they tell you you're strange and make you wish you could change, don't let them change the dreams that dream inside you. Oh, to be normal, to be a safe and unassuming shade of gray. Not too different, not too smart, no more problems in your heart. Do you really want to live your life that way? For those who work so very hard to make their talents fly, it's hard when what brings so much joy can make you cry. But hold on tight to who you are. Don't lose the joy to please the crowd. And if they still don't understand, you'll have to sing a little louder. Just sing your own song. Use your own voice. Your voice is not a thing to be afraid of. And when they hear it ring true, there's not a thing they can do to take away the music that you're made of. Don't let them take away the music that you're made of. That's it for this story time, friends.